that, right, you are looking at some late game scenarios where both of us were chatting just before we got on and saying, look, it feels like when they're going for the kill, GAM specifically, they sometimes just overforce it a little bit, and just being a little bit more heads up, a little bit more patient will probably do them well.
That's the big thing. That is a very LCP sort of statistic, is we love to go very aggressive. We will full send, we don't send at all. So we are in draft. We're going to see a little bit of a change up in what we're banning out, and finally seeing a Yorick banned here today as it's J4, Bard, Yorick as well. Then on the other side, for GAM, it is going to be your Cassiopeia and Vi. Waiting on that third one to come through, but so far it's telling me they're not looking to hard full send here. Maybe it's going to be a little bit of a cleaner draft and have a bit more front to back finally.
Kiaya Yorick. One of these days we'll get to see it, but not today. The Jace gets taken away from Myrwn. Of course, we'll just play that. Elyoya a little bit in the jungle as well, if my memory serves me right on that one as well. We've not really seen so much of the Jace jungle angle anymore, but there we go. Going to pick in the Rise anyway for Jojopyun, who is a well-tried and tested player of the champion, very strong. Was a good setup for something like an aggressive jungler as well, because the Rune Prism makes things rather easy.
Yeah, it's just one of those strong mid laners, right? It's just had so much presence in every region so far. It's one of the highest picks, along with Orianna too. But now that Orianna is no longer available, we're going to be looking at potentially a Syndra, another scaling mid laner, but it has been known to flex into the bot.
Indeed, and for your money, do you think Artemis would be a mage bot player?
No.
Well, that was a very swift answer, so we're realistically expecting that one to go mid. Alongside, of course, now the Fury. You hit level 6 here, both press R, and theoretically someone gets blown up. Is the plan there.
I love that, and that's a very GAM-centric gameplay, and I think that's going to really well sort of feel into their style of play. But now the Poppy is a very big disruptor of that, because the Fury no longer can get to you.
It's a lot harder, right? Again, you can't necessarily interrupt, or you can only interrupt so much, but you're still going to try and make that work. And again, could go to Alvaro, could go to Elyoya, and that could be a potentially dangerous option. With things like the Nico being hovered, that would very much imply that the Poppy is going elsewhere. All these are just hovers right now, so we'll wait and see. The Varus being considered here, worth noting again, Varus very much a flex pick. Myrwn plays it, we have seen it top, and here on 3, it's going to be asking some questions of GAM, saying, well, what exactly do you want to do here? Because I think, depending on how things play out, MKOI can move that around as they please.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But moving into the top lane, it has been done before, and it's a team that has known to do it. But now we're seeing a Piping Hobbit or a Nautilus. I think the Nautilus here probably makes a little bit more sense. You have now a bit of front to back and strong engage again. So if you land one good dredge line, you will find a dog pack sitting on top of you very shortly after. So I really like this. They're going to take it away from the Varus too, but you still have champions like your Rel, your Alistairs. You even have a couple mages in there that can sort of empower, but it really depends if we're going to see Supa go the more lethality sort of Varus, or if they're going to go the on-hit as well. But I feel like on-hit is just the way to go.
I mean, lethality Varus has been hit with a truck repeatedly. Like, it's just not as good as it was. In fact, frankly, it's mostly just not good. So if you can get away with the on-hit build, you tend to, and sometimes you just can't do it because the draft won't allow it. And if you go top lane, of course, you can do the Dusk and Dawn kind of off-tank kind of build, I guess, the way you think about bruisery build. So there's still some flexibility in the Varus in terms of what you want from it. But yeah, I think largely I agree that the other question we've got to ask then is, well, where is this Poppy going?
Yes.
Can go to jungle, seen that already today. Junja was playing it, of course, for JDG. I'm sorry, we stole him from you guys in LCP over the LPL.
I'll just walk out.
No, sorry about that. But it does mean it can theoretically be flexed down to Alvaro. Again, another one of those supports that, like the Camille, like the Leona, can be asked to just leave lane and make things happen elsewhere.
Yeah, I really like the Ziggs ban here as well. I think having that down in the bot side, but it's a very AP sort of comp if they do go with the Ziggs, because you've already got the Syndra. So maybe it is actually going to be that Syndra in the AP carry, but no, it's a Sivir instead. One of the notable champions that does sort of counteract the Varus. You have that extra push. The Varus is never going to be able to walk up towards you. You're always going to be pushing them in. So I really like this, and it means they can rotate up to objectives a little bit faster.
Yeah, and again, Spell Shield means the Chains of Corruption just aren't that easy to land. And again, if you are into a lethality Varus, your ability to block one of those key skill shots can be pretty valuable. Does mean, though, that Alvaro is going to pick up the Reld as he returns back to meta. And for people like Alvaro, that is great news because they are big proponents of champions like the Rel. So that does mean the Poppy are going to be jungle. And realistically, at this point, we're debating whether the Varus is going top or bot with the Gnar hover. The implication is we're getting the Varus bot.
Yeah, look, I like the Gnar. I think it's one of those top laners that is always going to be somewhat relevant in pro play. You've got the Rangers mini Gnar, you have Mega Gnar, and you can just absolutely wallop some people, but there are champions that do work very well against it. One of them was that Ambessa, but is already taken away. So they banned the Vayne out, clearly thinking that was the right call. They've got a bit of tankiness, and a Vayne was just going to be a nightmare for that regardless. So I really like this. what would you look to take in against this snub?
Banning
So,
way.
theoretically, you could have done something like the Ambessa. Olaf has been something we've seen a little bit of right now. And I think anyone who's followed some Vietnamese League of Legends and, of course, now LCP League of Legends will know that Kiaya has had a little bit of a history on champions like this.
I feel like Kiaya's probably got some anger issues, is what it really sort of tells me. Like, he picks up this Olaf, and he will just go full Berserker mode. You're not versing Berserker right now, but they will just run at you no matter what. The Ragnarok is going to be a key pinnacle here in any of these team fights. It's also really good into the Varus too, because if the Chains of Corruptions are there, you're going to hit with it. Ragnarok, you're not going to get affected. So, yes, Kiaya loves this pick and is very aggressive. Is one of these players that can take this champion.
See how it works, because then if you can get onto the mini NARP, lots of options there. You can ignore some of that CC coming on through. It means that disengaging the Olaf can be quite challenging. The Poppy, the Rel have limited options really to deal with an Olaf who's got that ult rolling. That said, you don't have an enchanter to back up the Olaf. And generally speaking, Olaf is at his most potent, particularly when we were sort of seeing more in the jungle roles, when you've got something like a Karma or a Seraphine or Lulu, something behind, just to give him that little bit of extra speed, that little bit of extra shielding to get him through some of those mid-game fights. This is still a fairly okay draft one, I think, but there are some worlds here where you can kite out the Olaf R, and then suddenly he's kind of just in the middle of nowhere, and then you're not CCing you.
Correct. No, that's definitely it, especially I think Olaf's going to have a little bit of an easier time as it gets into a bit more of the mid-game where you have some items on the back, but also into a Mega Gnar. You do not want to be fighting in that mini Gnar. The early game is just going to be a struggle. I think Kiaya knows this and can play back quite well. I did say that in the previous game. They are a player that knows when to concede a lane and knows when their spikes are really going to be the most potent. So I expect them to pick up something like the Tiamat, maybe go the Stride Breaker, and really be able to charge at this team.
And Stride Breaker really has been the item of choice for the others. I'm right there with you. I think that probably will be the option as we do head onto the Rift for what could well be our final game of this series. The stakes, folks, for those who need them. Lose this. Your tournament here at EWC in the League of Legends department, I suppose the word we'll use for now. The League of Legends portion is done. You are going home. Your key is shattered to be part of the road that paves the way to the full trophy. On top of that, there are important considerations for the club championship. To be eligible to get any money at all from the club championship, you need top 8 finishes. You bow out here, that ain't happening. Of course, to even win the club championship, you need to win one of the tournaments. And of course, MKOI are in a few different games. GAM, as we were chatting to TK earlier, saying, look, we're one of the newer partners here at WC. League of Legends is a flagship for GAM, has been for years. You want to get as far in this tournament as you can, and that makes this series real important beyond just League of Legends and for the tournament as a whole.
It is all or nothing for GAM here, as it is going to be GAM time, as they are looking to take a bit of a fight. Supa took a bit of a beating, but so did Taki. The engage, they took it a little bit too far, and it's something we sort of said right at the start, is we want to see them be a little bit more composed in how far they go forward for these kills.
Exactly that, and again, it just feels like some of those clutch moments in the later stages happened earlier against T1, happened in that game 1 there against MKOI when they tried to end the game and just couldn't quite have it happen. When you go for the kill, don't miss, pick your moments, and don't buy into the hype too much, you know what I mean? You've got to have that little bit of patience, that little bit of, I don't want to say reserve, but just a little bit of poise. That's the better term.
Take a deep breath.
Correct.
It's like whenever you're feeling stressed, right? You're like, okay, maybe I'll take 5 deep breaths. I'll see if I can compose myself. Yeah. Maybe they need to do that, but maybe they need to take 5 breaths just a little bit faster.
Hyperventilate.
Yeah.
That's just suddenly the advice goes wrong. Maybe they need to not listen to us. Here we go. But yeah, exactly that. And it was close. It was winnable, I think, is what I want to get from that for GAM. And we'll see how they pull that off here in this game. Kiaya trying to get towards some proxy farming. We're not allowing that super easy. Gets a nice hop there and some good trading, but still has to go back and pick up these minions nonetheless.
Yeah, big thing here, though, is you can actually see it is Elyoya still coming up to this top side of Jojo's looking at Gloryy.
Whoa!
Trey, the flash is good, but minions could be enough, as they are incredibly low. Gloryy might have the play here, but just has to be careful of the cooldowns. But you can see as well, where's Kiaya going for a run through? Where's Forrest going?
Well, currently towards a push to recall, and the Poppy's gone, this isn't worth my time.
But now they do get out, so no first blood just yet. Obviously, maybe GAM's listening to us and saying, all right, deep breaths, we're being a bit smarter with it, but still moving around the map.
So, quick eyes on what happened there. We've lost Flash and Ghost from Jojo for just the Flash from Gloryy. Taki will get a little bit of a chunk there onto that turret, and Alvaro's going to try and prevent too much happening. They should just get that plate nonetheless. And of course, you also lost the Ghost on Kiaya, but honestly, it's a short enough cooldown. You don't care too much. Does potentially make that reset a little bit awkward, but again, you went to proxy farm to give yourself that better reset timing anyway, because the wave is going to be miles away mid lane, we look instead of Draktharr.
Going straight up though, Draktharr needs to be pretty careful here, because if you get caught on one wall, you don't have that invulnerability, you will get caught out. So especially with Elyoya, who can cancel out those pushes, it's going to be a very tiresome, a very hard sort of a thing to get through for the dogs. But now, have to see his Taki has to flash out. Nice little scatter, does send them packing, and Jojo again, incredibly low.
Taki is going to have to be earning that flash though, as you noted again. And jungle support turning up mid. Feel like I've seen that once or twice in League of Legends history. Alvaro tries to go for a little bit of a joust there. Can't quite go full tilt though, and that'll be the end of that for now. Kiaya and Myrwn though, just been trading evenly, and no one's died yet so far, which is a little bit of an unusual state of affairs for some of these teams. And kind of means we're probably waiting on level 6 and stuff to come on through, and perhaps a look at some of these early objectives. Dragon spawning in 40 seconds, see whether Yoya wants to go for another very early dragon.
Yeah, look, and that's the name again. 40 seconds as the Infernal is about to come up, so I have to see as well, where's that priority going to be, especially with Void Grubs, where that was that bit of a contention where they were fighting over it. So maybe there's going to be a little bit of a change of pace for GAM here, where they need to be a bit more concerned about what objectives they go for. And I think early dragons are always so good, because you do get that little bit of, just a little bit extra towards the start of the game to help you in these fights.
And if you're looking for what the X factor was in that last game that got MKOI over the edge, probably was the Mountain Soul. The fact that they got those dragons made for such a huge difference, and especially when you look at that top lane fight where it looked like GAM might be winning it, the fact that it just took that step too long, that they didn't get to reset for the Elder, that they had to go do it all over again, proved to be a bit much. Topside though, Kiaya's running, Leona's in, and I think Mo's in danger.
Yeah, look, it's a lot of axes being thrown, and Kiaya has the help. Oh, the flash is good. Gets them back to safety.
I wonder whether Kiaya would debate flashing in there, but I suppose with the level 6 down, might have been, or rather not available, might have been a step too far. Still, the flash being down, and Ragnarok coming up now. The next time that happens could be a lot less fun for poor Myrwn.
Yeah, you're going to be so careful, but now it is GAM as well, already starting up this Dragon. Flash out from Supa. They knew they were in kill threat, but now, okay, they've had to back off a little bit more. Where is Gloryy? They have not rotated around. They're trying to get that priority on mid, but I think GAM are just giving over this drag. I don't know what the comms were there.
Yeah, well, they tried to pick off Supa, and they do get the flash from it. It just ends up being Safari League of Legends again. You turn up to watch the wildlife interact, and you're not there to involve yourself at all, which is not great. You're not here to play Safari, you're there to get involved. Yep. And unfortunately, they just kind of turn up and don't find that much. I mean, the flash off the Varus is still good news, not the end of the world, but still, MKOI back to their dragon stacking ways.
Oh, look, and we know that is one of the big reasons a lot of these teams just win series. They stack the dragons early, they get them online, and it's all she really needs. But we have noticed as well, a lot of the time, 2 dragons go over to one team, and then the other side just likes to flip it.
Draktharr is here, doesn't have 6, but reminder Supa has no flash in a goal. I think he's looking pretty worse for wear. Alvaro's trying to keep him safe to crash down with some Ferromancy, but Taki is out the
nice.
Makes it the 1-for-1, but look who got the kills. Well, it's the support on one side, and unfortunately, it's the Sivir on the other, and the wave lost to boot.
Yeah, no, the wave as well, that's pretty big, especially when it was a cannon wave as well. So this big chunk of gold, and if you can hit that tower once more, you get that crystalline growth, it's going to be massive. But a fantastic dive here as well. Early, Supa just got caught out, and you can see Alvaro was trying to hold on. Yes, got that return kill, but it was only for a Nautilus.
Yeah, and again, Supa dropping there is pretty rough. Again, it gets Artemis some more gold. He gets to go back for the Jhin and the Coal fields. He's building towards the Essence Reaver. Both of them are stacking coals, so not even that advantage. Not the best necessarily, especially when Supa has been, for my money, the really consistent carry for MKOI across the day. The back-to-back Ezreal games were very strong from him. We're showing up against the likes of BLG, obviously in game 1 of this series was very, very potent, and having him go behind is not a good sign for MKOI.
No, really isn't, especially when you see Sivir now. Artemis has picked up that Jhin and a Warhammer, so the cooldowns are there, but the damage is going to be quite good. So heading towards that Essence Reaver is going to be that nice little item spike that they're looking for. But they still are a late-game champion. Sivir needs 3-4 items to really come online.
I guess at this point, I'm going to start asking you a couple questions about Artemis in general. Because obviously he's a player that's been around for a while, been on GAM for a while, been in the Vietnamese scene for a while. Where is he at in your estimation as far as AD carry levels in LCP?
Oh, well, actually, That's a really... I think he's actually up there. I think he's maybe like top 2, maybe top 3.
Big statement.
Like, he has the skills. He's got a lot of that strong macro gameplay. He knows when to go in for these fights. Like, he has had a good performance so far. I just think they've just been a little bit too eager. I think if they can learn to control...
Calm being eager? I feel like that Vietnamese League of Legends. Violence.
Well, coming in. That's 4 members. This is Chase of Corruption. It's not going to land as they have to get out. Artemis held it with that spell shield and a beautiful play.
Teleport comes in, so they get that as an additional win. There's the flash and the barrier down from Artemis, so they definitely got something for their time. They don't necessarily, however, get the kills they were looking for, but maybe those summoners can be something you come back to punish a little later. Got a couple minutes on that dragon, and again, summoner economy is a big old deal. Yoya also down. His flash can also be problematic.
Yeah, especially when you're trying to get those angles as well. Knocking them into the wall is so big, but now Draktharr has that summoner a little bit of a better one where they can make these plays, but next dragon up in 1.5 minutes. We'll have to see if that's where they're going to be looking, but as well, KOI Group's already gone over to the side of GAM. They got to it while that play's going on, but a hook comes in. See if they can do anything more with it, but no, Alvaro happy just to charge out, stays alive.
Look, has the crash down, has the aftershock. Is more than fine there. Does mean that Draktharr should get the scuttle crab, which means they should have that additional uncontestable vision around the dragon that's spawning in 1.5 minutes. And again, MKOI did a very good job of stacking the dragons last time around. We'll see whether GAM managed to adapt and adjust here. I think they should be in a fairly good position to contest here. Of course, again, eyes on Artemis without those summoners. He's the Sivir, needs a bit of time to come online. Could be a risky fight to take with those summoners down. We'll see how GAM are feeling.
Yeah, look, I feel like they're having a little bit more composure in this game so far. Like, they're making clean dives, they're playing smart, but it's whether they can move forward a little bit more. So I'm looking at Supa to be this really big carry, and yeah, they're down 600 gold. It's not the end of the world. It's still a Varus, but on-hit Varus can do so much later on. It really comes down to whether they go for something like a Hurricane as well, which they get a little bit more of that damage across the board. We'll have to see, but once you get that Bork, you get yourself the Ginsus, you're going to be a nightmare.
Okay, 30 seconds on Dragon. See exactly who's setting up there. The wards right now in favor of GAM in the river, but no one's really there right now. And I'm seeing moves from Draktharr towards his own Raptor camp, so they might be willing to give this one up, you know, mate.
Oh, look, I know a lot of things, but what these teams are thinking is definitely not one of them. But now...
What, you don't have telepathy?
I tried.
You just, look...
It looks silly. I go, I just got my hands on my head.
I'll teach you after the game, right? We'll get you there.
I appreciate that. But now, yeah, like you said, Dragon has now come up. We'll have to see where these teams are going to. I think it's a bit slow. You can see Draktharr is up on the top side too, but recalling. So maybe they're looking for these item spikes to really start stepping forward. I feel like Draktharr might be getting very close to finishing their first item.
That's exactly what he was going for the camp for. Good read. And you know what? Maybe I don't need to teach you. You figured it out. The telepathy's in.
Well, sometimes the best mind readers don't give their tricks away, you know what I mean? But no, as it is...
Is that a little bit of low-key shade, by the way? Oh, wow, I see how it is.
I don't know. Maybe maybe I knew that was going to be there. Who knows? But no, as you can see, they're starting to get this movement. Draktharr is here. Sundered Sky also completed for Elyoya. We'll have to see what they're going to do and who's going to make the move first. But now, looking for something to touch the flash forward into the hook.
Look at Artemis.
That's all she wrote. Let's see if Artemis can do the damage. It's just too much. Where did Taki go? That is your frontline tank. Jojo's doing a good job, but now
good scatter.
Charge. It's going to be enough as Artemis does the damage, but it's just not enough.
Reset.
Getting the recess, the damage is good. Double kill. He's looking to go forward. Jojo and Supa have to run, but the dragon should be the prize.
It's 2 for 2. Jungle traded for jungle. Support traded for support. It's a bit of a mess in general. I don't know whether either team's willing to tank up the dragon at this point.
I don't think so. The prize was not there. They just couldn't commit. 2 dead. Both teams on 3 kills apiece. That was a bit of a wonky play, if you ask me. It
was almost brilliant, because Draktharr got the reset. You began to wonder, Taki gets the play on his Supa, flashes in with the depth charge to redirect on it. You're thinking, well, maybe this is a good place to be, but it was just that touch deep. That scatter into the reset that comes through from the bleed on Draktharr, I thought was going to be enough, but Supa flashes away and survives, which means with the Rune Prison afterwards, it just is a touch too far from GAM. Back to live we go, but a good dredge line out there from Taki.
And I think that's the big thing, right, is GAM knows that Supa is the problem. They need to be targeting that. And you could see Taki's like, I got this, guys, follow me. And there just wasn't enough time. They were a little bit too far away, but the dragon is still up and they're looking at it.
That they are. Alvaro and Jojo trying to find their way in. Jojo got the highest HP, and again, a lot of summoners got blown in that play. Eyes on Supa in particular, a little out of options. Alvaro gets chunked out very heavily as Artemis looking to do some damage. In goes Taki. He's left a little alone. Needs to start backing away. Draktharr goes forward and it gets spicy.
And now the Realm Orb's coming in, trying to get them out of dodge, but no, he's got caught out straight into the wall, but the flash is good, and it keeps them in the game a little bit longer. 1 for 1.
They get the flash and the ghost off of Jojo. They get the kill on Elyoya. That means they're going to get the dragon after, and GAM find themselves a healthy advantage in this game.
And that is what you want to see, getting their first dragon on the board, 1 apiece. It's going to be so good, especially a tiny little bit of a mountain. We'll have to see what soul it's going to lead into. We know it's going to be maybe a little bit more aggression to it, but Gloryy is coming in good with these scatters. They are doing so much in these team fights.
And also, look who's picking up the kills for GAM. 75% of them are on Artemis's Sivir, named after the goddess of the hunt, and clearly has been hitting a few of those shots.
Goddess of Wisdom as well obviously knows that they need to go forward a little bit more. Maybe they have to pull it back a little bit, give them the space, and see what happens. But there's no owls.
Yes, I do.
Just a little bit of lore for him.
I hate to do this for you.
Is that different one?
Athena
They
is
are
the
bad.
is the one with the owls.
You know what?
They are from
I'm a
EU,
mind reader,
so-
not a knowledge
Okay,
keeper.
yeah, that's fine, right, yeah,
That's
that's
the
fine.
difference.
Yeah,
What can I do?
There we go. There you go. I apologize for the lack of Greek mythology knowledge, which is clearly a requirement to do the League of Legends
Yeah,
thing,
apparently.
you know?
Apparently.
Huge, like, addition there, you know?
I'm a little bit better with other mythologies, unfortunately. Get me into Egyptian, we're good to go.
there you go.
When are we going to get a little bit of Azir in, get a little bit of
I'm with you.
on? You know what, that's okay, we can forget that. But still, it's a bit of a lull coming into it. We're at the 15-minute mark. We got the Rift Herald coming up in 30.
That we do. And question again will be, are we going to get a contest over it? With these two teams, it feels like it's a likelihood. Kiaya's been run out a little bit here by Jojo, but shouldn't lead to too much. I suspect Kiaya should be fairly close to a stride breaker of his own. We've got first item in for Artemis. It's going to be the static Shiv build from Supa as well, which is very obnoxious on the Varus if you've not seen it.
Oh yeah, it's just going to be doing so much. The wave clear is going to be good, but you need it. Against a Sivir, what can you do?
And we'll see what the loop is from this, because you can do things like Voltaic with it if you want to be really spicy. Basically, because static allows you to apply blight stacks to everything the static hits. So you get blight stacks everywhere. It's very silly. You can kind of do things like with Voltaic, you get like double blight stack procs. It's really nasty.
That, yeah,
so you kind of like static into E for like double blight stacks. Horrible.
And you can see as well, now we're getting a little bit of movement as Elyoya, Alvaro, and Myrwn are coming down. Obviously saw it was actually going to be Draktharr picking up the scuttle, so just getting a little bit of that vision around the Rift Herald, because Kiaya and Jojo are down in the spot side just clearing waves. I don't think they're going to be making any moves, but the TP is now available for Kiaya, so it's going to be nice to be able to move around the map, and they can still keep the Ghost and Flash.
And of course, Jojo's got the Realm up, so his ability to come join, especially with him now moving up towards that mid lane, is pretty high. Eyes on Artemis, well, got the Flicker Blades to work with. Draktharr to the back of the pit.
They're looking for a little bit more, as it is going to 4k health. Let's see if they're going to get that steal. It is Draktharr wanting a little bit more. It is picked away. Sent all the way to the base, but now Alvaro's coming back in. They've been picked up. They get the Rift Herald, but they lose Alvaro in the making.
Elyoya thought he'd not won away, but the hook comes flying, and I thought we were watching League of Legends. Apparently, it's Marvel, the Spider Knot. He's going to play now. Jojo's in danger. Scatter the wheel.
Glory is thy name, and that is the game. It's just a little bit too much. One scatter is all it takes.
Huge moment. You still got the Herald infantry for the side of MKOI, but they lose a fair whack with it. It's another kill coming their way. 3-0-3 for Artemis, who is continuing to get involved in so much here. And look at the goal at the top of your screen. GAM really beginning to build up, gone way beyond the 1,000 to 2,000 mark at this point. They managed to stop a lot of those objective stacking woes they had in the last game. They're the ones with the grubs. They picked up one of the dragons, and that makes things a little bit more tricky here for MKOI in the mid game.
Big thing as well, 2 minutes on that Ocean Soul Dragon. That's the first one we're going to be seeing. So once you start stacking these, the healing's going to be so big. And there are a lot of tanks in this game. It's going to be so hard to take any of them. Oh my god! Artemis, your damage.
That's double everyone else.
Oh my... Scared me for a second. It was like a jump scare.
I feel like the LCP caster guys might be a little pleased with their AD carry right now.
Look, I'm pretty happy. They got good hook coming in. Alvaro has to sort of just stamp their way out, maybe?
Yeah, and again, because he's had to leave, it means they're losing control of the river again. We're going to look at the replay, and again, there's the Spider Knot. from up in the sky right back where he came from. He's bungee jumping.
Oh, look, and I love those sorts of players. Like when you used to see the Bard going straight up in the air and they're up there for like 4 minutes, you're like, when are they coming back down? It's the magical journey we never really wanted. But now we're back into it as the Dragon's still up. 45 seconds. Oh, Elyoya may have found Draktharr, but Flash comes out. That's a big cooldown with 40 seconds.
Now that it is, and the second item was in, they're going to try and get onto Artemis, who has to flash away. Another big summoner down.
Okay, that does tell me that maybe they need to keep this first dragon. It's a bit of a rough one. They're in a bit of a disadvantage going into this next team fight. And yeah, you have some ultimates. Yeah, you got the hunt, but it might not be enough to be able to get that movement speed ahead. I would expect this to be a 5v5.
Yeah, it likely will be. But again, as a result of those summoners being earned by MKOI, we're now going to come in with something of an advantage here. Artemis being down flash, Draktharr being down flash. If you're looking for the key flashes in this game, well, I'll take the 2 carries, thanks.
Yep, we'll take it. But again, it's not too bad when it comes into Draktharr, because on that Aethera, you have so many dashes, you have so many moves, you have a lot of mobility, but this is what we said. It was just a dragon. They have to give it over. It's not worth the fight.
And look, it's only second dragon. It's not the end of the world. It's frustrating, but bluntly, I think going in there would have been a step too far. And again, we have chatted about GAM and them overplaying it when looking for the kill. That would be really Scatter's good.
Scatter is going to be enough as Myrwn is taking out again. Gloryy starting to scale up. It's all these balls are flying everywhere.
They've got 3 grubs. They've got the Olaf in the top lane shoving as well. That's going to be double turret, I think, for GAM and a huge influx of gold.
Yeah, 3.2k now. It's starting to stack. GAM are finding these picks. They're finding the lead that they need. And it really is on the back of just Gloryy landing these solid abilities.
Kiaya gets beyond the wave, denies so many minions on top of everything else. He now gets to accelerate a little bit further on. Suddenly the gold has gone from 2,000 to 3.5. At the very least, Jojo manages to find a turret on the other side of the map to get something back, but it's still, on the whole, a significant win for GAM. Artemis in danger.
There's no flash. It's just going to be sent up in the air. Artemis has to be so careful. No spell shield can keep you alive from 3 members.
No, it cannot. They're going to try and turn that into the mid lane turret. They just don't have enough of a wave, and with the Olaf here, that's just not going to be a possibility. And they'll clear that out, but at least they do get another kill. Artemis dies for the first time this game.
Okay. Look, they're still pretty good. We still like them there over the LCP. It's fine.
Still, what was a 3,500 gold is now back down to 2, which is a lot more manageable than it once was. And MKOI not out of this game yet. We're finding a few counter punches here in the last sort of minute or so. But Draktharr, they're starting Baron. This is early.
Yeah, 20-minute spawn. It makes sense. Maybe they're just trying to draw them out. Maybe it's one of those tactics of, oh, well, they'll know we're on it. And then they say, okay, now we just back off. We know where they're going to be. Then go clear their vision again. Because that's just a nice little play to do. It's still 3 minutes on a dragon, so there's no real point to do that.
A little bit of a DPS check, and again, you have got an Aethera, you have got the Nautilus, the ability to potentially tank it with something like a Protoplasm Harness Nautilus and just throw out all those Darkened Daggers with the Voltaic, with Black Cleaver. Potentially kind of doable, actually, now that I think about it, but would have been a step too far there, and with the relatively heads-up Farsight alteration coming on through, they spotted out what was happening and had to back off.
And there's the Rift Herald being summoned. It is going to be in this mid lane, so maybe they're looking to try and clear it out. This top tower on GAM's side is very healthy, but now going to get this charge off. Easy pickups for this. A little bit of gold coming back again, going down to about 1.7 for the side of GAM, but moves upon counter moves is what we're seeing.
Yoya face checks the Olaf, but it won't lead to all that much. Got a little nervous there as Kiaya was hanging around, but didn't want to full send it, and I think with Jojo around would probably have been a step too far anyway, so that Gromp is stolen away quite happily. That said, the Herald does get that mid lane turret, brings that gold lead back down again to a meaningfully lower level here, and with 2 minutes on the dragon, that probably will be our next point of contest.
Taki's going just for a little wander. Able to get that blast going out. I thought they were going to get caught, but no. They're playing it a little bit smart. They know what's up and available. But I do love this about Taki too. They are very happy to go wandering. They're happy to go get deep vision if they can. It's just they usually get caught out. That's the only downside.
That's the worry. Again, Taki is a very much a playmaking support, but is perhaps not the most reserved, shall we say.
Yeah, it's the LCP special, full send or nothing. But still, that's what we love to do there, and it's always those bloody games. But we're seeing a lot more, again, honestly, compared to LCP, there's a lot more composure in these series that we've seen from them so far. Usually it's 1 kill a minute. So far, it's not that. Good hook comes in. See if the death charge. It's going to be enough. Scatter. It's just too good. Oh! He's able to...
Nice!
He's just keeping it. Disruption hits. A hook to follow it up. And Draktharr picks up the kill.
It's on to Alvaro. It's a 5v4. I think they're going to think about Baron. However, Jojo just picked up Kiaya, and now the 4v4 makes it a step too far.
Yeah, there's the threat that this Ryze will start pushing in this bot side again, but a solo bolo in this bot side, a Ryze killing an Olaf, it's unheard of.
Yeah, and I think it's hunting Baron as well, if I saw the form, which is like doing, what is it, 20% of your max HP when it hits that kind of specific form attack, which is really rough if you're trying to rush it in the early stages. You get chunked so much by that Baron. It's a very dangerous one to play in the early stages. Well, look at the replay now again on how Kiaya got caught.
Yeah, no, this was actually, let's look at, we didn't actually get to see it too, but Kiaya is just taking every single hit and cannot even get close to Jojo. There's the Ragnarok, but it's just too far gone, and no shield can keep you alive there. It's so healthy and just an unfortunate play.
Yeah, I mean, Jojo didn't even hit all his Qs, but he just kept chunking, and Kiaya picked his moment to go in a little too late, and that could be a little problematic when we've got 10 seconds on this Ocean Dragon.
Yeah, that's the big one. This is where KOI have been finding their success up against GAM. They're going to be able to see if they can lock it down, and 2 Ocean Drags is nothing to snuff at. There's got to be some form of anti-heal starting to come out on the side if they can secure it. But MKOI, it's their dragon to secure right now, but they're still down in gold.
3.5 items on Artemis. If they can get to Soul Point, it's a win com for MKOI. Onto the dragon they go. The heroes, or the Keeper's Verdict rather, is picked up, and the Nautilus again!
Still go, but they secure it.
In they go with another Hound's Pursuit, trying to get the damage. Alvaro left low. Backline Kiaya tries to Ragnarok and roll through Supa. Gets the kill. Jojo is dead to rights. Kiaya will throw down a steadfast presence, but his presence is not required in this game anymore.
Oh, and Elyoya now going to be taking out a double kill here for Artemis, and a huge turn, and it really was the success. Kiaya found his move, found the backline, and got the job done.
They get the Soul Point to MKOI. The problem is they've lost so many members, and I think GAM are looking at the Baron.
Yeah, they pick up a tower as well, so I think this could be the chance. The TP is still available here for Kiaya, so they could still come up for this, or they could threaten a side lane, which is exactly what they're trying to do. I think they have the damage. Artemis is sitting comfortably. 3 items with a cloak. It is so much crit. It's just going to get melted here, and the only one available to help is Alvaro.
Baron secured. GAM find themselves 4,500 gold up. We'll have a look at the replay. Elyoya secures the smite, and the fight afterward is a little less good.
Taki is that spider Nautilus right now. Every single time they go up, they come right back in. And now you can just see Alvaro still holding on. It's just being looked at by KOI, but it's just the team fight looks so messy. But GAM just had that final engage and they got into the team fight. It was all Kiaya on this backline.
Yeah, again, if Kiaya doesn't get the kill on Supa, we might be having another conversation. With the Rage Blade, with the healing coming on through, with the Terminus now completed, maybe that would have been the difference maker. The problem is, Artemis has gone home. He's picked up the last Whisper. He's got himself the Noon Quiver. This Sivir is at critical mass, and I think she's going to be hitting like a warhead.
It's 2.8k lead just for Artemis right now. This is going to be such a pinnacle thing. They need to keep them alive.
Well, when we've seen MKOI pop off today, it's been through Elyoya, it's been through Supa. Elyoya's down 1.1, and of course Supa is down 2 and nearly 3k at this point. Let's be real about it. That is not a good position for MKOI in general. Gonna have to try and hold on and not give up too much with this Baron, but I don't know how easy that's gonna be.
Yeah, look, and now they're starting to siege. They can look at these towers and they're going to get these crystalline growth. It's going to be really good. Let's see if they can push forward and maybe make something happen.
Ouch.
Scatter the Weak does do a bit of damage. Elyoya needs to be careful. They are not the super tank that this Poppy really needs to be for this front line, but now they can just let these cannon minions, again, 2 stacked cannons charging forward. They can take so much. Look up at the top side. Kiaya's all alone. Might be 2v1 up there as they're looking for that tier 2 on top side as well.
That's the plan, right? And again, the gold lead balloons even further for GAM, and this time they're not down Soul. Soul Point for sure, and that might be a problem again. Keep an eye on that 2-minute timer at the top left of your screens. But Artemis backs, and that is no longer components. That is a full last Whisper. Well, Lord Dominic's Regard, rather, is the one.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage, and you've got to be very worried. 300 CS at 27 minutes. They're doing a damn good job right now. 100% crit. Every single boomerang is gonna hurt.
And that's ironic because there's a Gnar on the other side. Normally he's the boomerang guy, and Siva's showing him how it's done.
Yep. Boomerang beast is what we like to call that. It's a boomerang off.
I'd trust the Australian over me on that one.
Look, it's actually not a very common competition in Australia. How far can you throw a boomerang? It's,
they come back all the time. It's a problem.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You can never actually get it to land super far away. That's the bad side.
2 inches away, right?
Yeah, it's like, oh, so no, behind us? We never know. But still, now they're looking for the resets. They've got some good gold. A solid sort of power play here with the Barons. Only about a 2k-ish. I would have liked to see them be a little bit more proactive, but I think they're doing what they can. And now Kiaya looking towards this top side, trying to push it in. It's nice rotations out of GAM this game. They are moving more as a pack, and I'm not just saying that with an Ethereal in the game.
Yeah, and again, it feels like they've got a few more scaling options. Syndra is 8 stacks off that full 120 Splinters of Wrath. You've got a 4-item level 16 Sivir that's getting to a nightmarish level of power. You've got 3 items on a level 15, nearly 16 Neferi as well. The late game is going to be very deadly indeed. Sure, you've got the Rise. It's not exactly a bad scaler, but it feels like the Varus's point of power is perhaps gone a little bit, especially compared to the Sivir. The Poppy not exactly known for her incredible scaling here and coming into what could be a critical fight for this Ocean Soul for MKOI. I'm a little nervous that the game might have slipped away from them.
Look, we've seen them pull off miracles. That last game, they were able to flip it on a dime once again, so we'll have to see if they can do it once more. Myrwn here, about to go Mega, looking to hit just a little bit, but no wave really there to hold back. Scatter of the week. Oh my lord, Jojo, I'm so sorry. Artemis picking up another kill, 6-1 and 7, and they are charging down mid.
They went to look to see whether they could pick off the Olaf, and while they did, poor Jojo had the favor returned. Well, the Olaf didn't even have anyone really run at him, and that is going to be a real problem, because now this dragon is free for GAM. Only the second dragon. It's not the end of the world in that case for MKOI. The problem is, it's not the soul. It's not them getting their win condition back in the game that is still going to be problematic in terms of where these champions match up later on. They're now jumping at Kiaya, who is going to throw down that ghost, gets slowed down, but I think he just gets to walk away. Myrwn nearly at the Mega, but the teleport is summoned, and the Olaf is out of there.
Look, you take that, a ghost being used where they sent quite a bit there to see if they could catch him again. Kiaya is doing a good job of drawing so much pressure, and that's what a lot of great top laners need to do, to give that space to their team, especially a fed Sivir.
And look, you get a teleport, you get a ghost. That's great. Minute till Baron, maybe that becomes important. But it's not exactly a significant win. It's not a kill. It's not the turret. It's not a flash, which again, could have been kind of critical here. Now the Olaf goes back. You've got the Death Dance rolling at this point alongside the Hex plate. Like, this is going to be hard. Maybe a play onto Artemis. Alvaro goes in.
Great spell shield. It's going to go through as the Death Touch does go through. Is there going to be enough damage as they go for the hunt?
Supa!
Supa being targeted. Look at the random It just axes for days. There is no hope. It is Kiaya say, this is my target. I will take it. And now he's going for even more. It's just too much. The Gnar is good. Go! Cancels out the cunt. It's going to be too much. Draktharr is able to get away just in time, but now they need to hold that line. It was Artemis who went down.
That's huge, right? They managed to get the Varus, sure, but despite the scaling, despite the Sivir being critically fed, they've lost 3, and Draktharr is in the enemy base.
Where are you going, Draktharr? You need to be very careful. Jojo is here, looking for a little bit more. Does go up in the air. You are not long for this world. The shutdown is immaculate there for, oh my lord here. It's a big one, Initialize.
Oh, GAM. Oh, GAM. We said that perhaps when you're looking for the kill, they stepped a little far. These clutch moments in the late stages came back to bite them in game 1. They were so strong, in such a good position in this game. They just lost 4 members. Baron is spawning, and I fear they might have just given an angle back into a game that was dead to rights.
It really was, and now gold still up about 4k here for some GAM, but sadly, a Baron can flip that very easily, and with so many towers still available to just chunk out, this could be MKOI flipping the script.
Yeah, and they're going to get the Baron. There's no real way to contest this. This will undo a lot of that gold lead. It will tide them through to another Dragon spawn, where they, with all the shove from the Baron minions, can set up for an Ocean Soul, and that will undo a host of sins.
Yeah, look, literally as the dragon spawns, the Baron buff should end. They might even be able to take the fight a little bit earlier. With a little bit more of that power from the Baron, you can take these fights, take the soul, and then take the game. But now it is on GAM to say no and deny that power. We'll have to see now, though, as items are coming through once more again, though. Initializers, it's going to be a little bit harder. This Olaf is starting to get very big.
Yeah, and again, Artemis got jumped on. You thought he might survive. The problem is the CC chain just gets utterly ridiculous. And then Yoya turns up, knocks a couple members away, and Kiaya gets super sure. The problem is everyone else isn't here, and Kiaya goes in 1v4, and the Ragnarok is timed out. And Draktharr is way down the lane, not involved. And then Jojo gets saved by Yoya with the steadfast presence.
And then it's just the run of his life, trying to survive it out. And now here it is, that first tower. Going to go down with this Baron buff. It just makes sense. And it's a rise as well.
Yeah.
They're just going to scale so hard too. So Jojo's very happy to just take this and sit in side lanes because they are farming up a storm. 1.3k gold lead now just for Jojo in this mid lane matchup. So it's going to get very, very difficult.
Look, GAM fans, it's not over yet.
Never.
Eyes on Artemis' inventory. He's got a GA. He's building towards what will likely be a Bloodthirst deck. He's 3,000 gold up. He's in a great spot. That said, for MKOI, this Varus now has an Arm Guard and a Jack Show and a Terminus. Varus with the on-hit build just gets to go tank post a certain point. And yes, you've got the Neferi, yes, you've got the Olaf, but with how fine the margins have been to bring down Supa across this game, that's a tricky spot.
And the big thing there is it's also both sides. It's just GAM going full send into the back line and breaking up the team. This is just where MKOI can stay together and really control.
40 seconds till Ocean Soul potentially for MKOI. Few flashes that are critically down. No flash for Yoya. No flash for Jojopyun. No flash for Supa. But on the other side, Artemis without his. Draktharr and Kiaya also similarly without that key summoner.
It's all about how do you take out these carries. It's Supa or Artemis. The first one to go is just going to spell it. But now, it really comes down to who pulls the trigger first.
It will be Gloryy's turned up. Look at Alvaro looking for the Hex Flash. Yoya's in!
For a bit more, they're going to charge down. They're going to the back.
Oh!
Going golden. It's going to be enough of this trying to hold this
Jojo's
one
down!
It's all too much.
Oh!
It's looking at one more member, and they get the
It's a
clean
slaughter.
ace. GAM is all they wrote. Now they can charge down mid and end this
That's
game.
awful.
What time is it, folks? I think it's GAM time! This series ain't done!
Oh my lord, we're going to a game 3. They can close this out. The timers are huge. 40 seconds, 30 seconds on all members. And it's GAM wanting to say LCP's here to reign.
GAM will not go quietly into the night. Will not lose 0-2. MKOI, you'll have to do it all over again. We get a decider. Both keys on the line. And we go one more time.
Oh, the first best of
GG.
3 here at EWC 2026. And it is GAM going game 2 and taking us to the final series game. Wow, Initialized.